I don't know. Old Man Carnivore, right?
Old Man Carnivore.
Okay,
Yep, I
so
love
he
him.
has a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Get your dad to sit down, watch some videos. He is very entertaining.
Yes.
I love him. Top fan. Right now, I know he's got 24,000 subscribers. And let me just tell you, no, 26. He deserves more.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Old
deserves
guy
more.
Carnivore. He's hilarious.
hilarious.
Now he's got opinions, and he's not a scared to share them.
Right, but I love that.
Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. It's Saturday morning. It's about 9:30. It's a little earlier than I normally eat. But I have a live stream at 3 this afternoon, and I want to be finished with my eating by then for the day. So I'm going to make myself some breakfast and talk to you about what has kind of become a typical morning for me now that I have elected to make getting my message out on YouTube to people who truly want to hear it, what my life has become about. And I'm not unhappy about the fact that this is what my life has become. I've always wanted to help. I've always wanted to make a living. Those two things, although a lot of people think so, are not mutually exclusive. For God's sakes, even Mother Teresa got a paycheck. But that's not what this is about. This is about what goes on in my mind. And every day that I go on after all of these years, I become increasingly convinced that my mind doesn't work like most people's minds do, for better or for worse. I truly want to see the best. I truly want to see the best in people. And that's not usually the case, unfortunately. And in my quest, on my little YouTube adventure, to give respect to the people, to those of you who listen to what comes out of my mouth. Appreciated on the most part. Give me more advice than any one single human being would ever need in a lifetime. And most importantly, assume that everybody is just like you, without allowing for the fact that everybody is different. One person's weaknesses and problems may not be another person's weaknesses and problems. And you just assume that because you can do something, that everybody can do something. And that's a tenet that I've come to understand over this long lifetime, now 77 years old. And I read all these comments, and I read them with an open mind, and I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I try to put myself in their shoes and say, what kind of person must this be? What must their life be like to have written a comment like that? And before I go on, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Today I got two comments. I got two comments from people who made me wonder what's their motive for watching one of my videos, for taking the time to actually compose and post a reply to one of those videos. And how do I answer it without calling them names, becoming combative, and worse yet for me, starting a debate, trying to prove which one of us is right. And that's where I'm hoping to make a point here today, and that it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about we're all different. It's about what might be right for you that might not be right for everybody else. And because of that, I've decided, and you've heard me say this in many videos, I've decided that I cannot debate. I will not enter into any back and forth posts on YouTube, which I, really don't have the time for, trying to change your mind. I make these videos only to tell you about what I've discovered, what works for me. If you're not like me, my advice is not aimed at you. And there is no reason whatsoever for you to watch what I have to say. If you, like most people in this country today, as a result of all of the events that have created this ridiculous society with unrealistic propaganda-driven ideas about how things work. If you're a vegan, if you're not a carbohydrate addict, you cannot identify with me. You can't identify with what I say. And I'm talking, when I talk to a camera, I'm talking to thousands and thousands of people that I know might be watching this video. And it's not my intention. If you feel like you've got it all figured out, it's not my intention to force my views on anybody or change any of your minds. And yet, I get barraged every day with so many comments that tell me how wrong I am and how dangerous what I'm doing is. Giving advice that is just flat out dangerous for a carbohydrate addict. Maybe I should rename my channel for carb addicts only. But that wouldn't work because most people who are carb addicts don't even know that they're carb addicts. That's a problem. Our society has not really, in their minds, legitimized the concept of carbohydrate addiction, yet fully understand addiction in general, especially addiction to cigarettes, addiction to alcohol, addiction to heroin and crack cocaine, addiction to gambling, addiction to virtually everything. They even think that some people are addicted to sex. But no, we can't be addicted to sugar or all those healthy fruits and vegetables because we have been brainwashed, and I have been finding it increasingly difficult to help people who want to be helped unbrainwash themselves. And that's what it takes. We have programs to help addicted people recover. Some of them are pretty severe. We don't, as a society, have anything like that of any consequence for somebody who might be a carb addict. And yet, it's that carb addiction that is in so many ways responsible for every problem, especially health problems that we have. And I know this, and I know who my message is for. My message is not meant to try to make me the biggest YouTuber on the planet. I don't want to be the biggest YouTuber on the planet. My channel's growing because so many people over a short period of time have listened to me and said, wow, this guy makes sense. And that's all I want to do, is make common sense. One of the many comments I got already this morning, and I've been up since 5 o'clock, and that's primarily what I have been doing since 5 a.m., and it's now 9:45, is reading and responding to comments. And there are so many of them that I just search for a non-insulting way to reply without starting one of these long debates and dialogues back and forth with somebody who's basically trying to prove they're smarter than me. You know what? I'll concede. If you think I'm wrong, I admit you're smarter than me. Take comfort in that. You won. You don't have to prove anything to me. You're not going to prove anything to the people who have been following me. They follow me because they want to, and they see some value in what I said. And so many of them have told me they've been helped. Your message is not for them. Your message, when I read it, is telling me that I'm giving bad advice. And maybe that advice doesn't apply to you. And that's fine, I accept that. So you're smarter than me. I'm wrong. You know everything. And I'm just a young, wet behind the ears kid right out of school who needs to learn everything. And I'm going to read one of these comments to you now, and my answer, to give you an example. And these aren't mean comments, and they're not nasty, and I don't hate these people. But it shows me, the more and more of these things that I read, it shows me how so many people are so brainwashed and are not like most of us. Let me read this. And I'm not going to tell you who it's from. I'm not going to embarrass anybody. It's okay to break carnivore once in a while. If you eat junk once a week and then only animal foods the other 6, then you'll likely be fine. Our bodies are great at adapting, and they can handle a cheat day a week. Most people work 5 or even 6 days a week. There you have a very good control over what you do on the weekend. Who cares? You can go overboard a bit. It's still better than doing it 7 days a week. So here's somebody that comes on to a channel dedicated to helping carb addicts, severe carb addicts, overcome an addiction, a slavery to foods that have kept them their entire lives from succeeding on any healthy lifestyle, that has made them sick, that has made them diabetic, that has given them heart disease, that has ruined their lives, that has ruined the lives of their relatives and loved ones, who more than likely end up in nursing homes, drooling, suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. Those are the people that recognize the fact that this is the real problem. This is the biggest problem. This is the only problem that matters, is the addiction. And this person comes on. I don't know if they're trying to be helpful, but they're telling me, and by putting it into public comments, they're telling you that it's all in your head, that you can do this, that we're adaptable, that we can cheat 1 day a week. And my answer to this person, my answer was, and I tried to be respectful in my answer, I said, spoken like a person who isn't a carb addict. You're very lucky, my friend. And yet, I'm sure you wouldn't give that advice to a recovered alcoholic or crack addict. That's the best I could come up with without being insulting. Try not to insult people. We'll see what happens. Most of the time, I get an insulting answer back on a comment and an answer like that. That, every time, makes me rethink about whether I want to even keep doing this. Because to me, that's abuse. That's an insult to me personally. That's an insult. I'm told, let it roll off your back. Don't take it seriously. I'm sorry. When you're passionate about something, as passionate as I am, about trying to help maybe just one person, and even on a bigger scale, help the human race realize what the real problem is, in my opinion, the many comments I get from people telling me I take it a little too far, I'm a little too overboard, I'm a little too strict, goes against everything I believe and makes me question, do I really want to help these people, or just let them all go to hell, end up in a nursing home with no feet, wondering who they are and who that person that comes to visit them every day is? Excuse me while I beat my eggs. Thank you. I don't get angry about these things. These things make me sad because they just reinforce my beliefs about how screwed up the thinking of everybody is and how susceptible they've been to the propaganda, to the corruption, the greed of the people that really don't care about them, the people that run these big companies that capitalize on our addictions. If you're not a carb addict, if you can open a box of cookies, eat one, put it away and forget about it, you don't need me. This is not the place for you. You don't need to listen to me. I don't want you to listen to me. I don't want you to subscribe to my channel. I don't care how many subscribers I have. I would rather have 1/10 the number of subscribers that I have if those subscribers were people that I could help. There's a lot of bullshit on YouTube. There's a lot of misinformation everywhere. There's misinformation in the daily newspaper every day. Most of what we see, most of what we're told, most of what we hear is bullshit. It's not real. There's only one reality. I live there. I have always lived there. I don't delude myself, and for God's sakes, I don't delude any of you. I offer myself, however great shape I myself might be in at 77 years old, I offer my life. I've opened up everything. You know my history. A lot of you were new, never saw me, watched one video and think you know me enough to give me advice. And even worse, to give my, I'll call you loyal followers, advice as well. My desire is, I don't want you in my life. I don't care if you kill yourself, if you eat crap. I don't care if you have a cheat day once a week. And if you're not a carb addict, that cheat day may be okay for you. I envy you. But don't think because it works for you that it will work for the majority of the people in this country that have become fat and sick, unhealthy, dying young because of their addiction to these addictive foods that have been fostered on us by corrupt and greedy people and corporations. That's the reality. Got another comment this morning that said, if this guy looks 85, if this guy's an example of carnivore, then carnivore is no good. Now, I know some of these people are trolls. And if you think I look 85 years and act 85 years old, and I'm only the tender young age of 77, my friends, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't watch my videos, please. Anyway, enjoy your morning coffee. If you don't get any ill effects from it. I record some of these videos like this because these things are in my head. The whole speech is going over and over in my head, and I just need to say it because it's important. I don't want to change anybody that doesn't see the merit in what I've done for myself and say, well, here, look at this guy. I'm not the greatest looking guy in the world. I certainly don't have the best body. But considering the fact that over half the people my age that were born in the same year I am, or I was, are dead now, I would say a good 90% of the rest of them are on the way out. I would say that for 77 years old, health-wise, I'm probably in the top percentage of 1% of the population. I've been carnivore for just a little shy of 2 years, and the only things that have happened to me have been positive, curing my problems, certainly cured my carbohydrate addiction, which has been my nemesis my entire life. And if you don't believe that, if you don't believe your own eyes when you watch me or listen to me, I can't help you, nor do I want to. So, to those of you who insist on leaving this type of comment, while it's not mean, well, the one that said, I look, for an, is this guy, if he's not 85, that's just stupid. That was just some young kid. So for those of you who think I'm looking like an 85-year-old in bad shape, and think that you're smarter than me, and that you know more than I do, and I'm going to give it to you. You are so smart, you're much smarter than me. But for the rest of you who like listening to me, why don't I just do this? Why don't I take off this microphone and go over down on the floor and knock out a few push-ups for you. How's that? Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.